So here's what happens when the amygdala gets triggered with something that it feels is a threat. Let's say you and your brain are walking along, and out of the corner of your eye you see a long, narrow, cylindrical, round thing on the ground, right? And sorry, what did someone say?
Oh, I'm running.
I'm running. Thank you. You didn't have to think about that very long, did you? Because why are you running?
Because I'm probably thinking it's a snake.
Right, because your amygdala is thinking it's a snake. That's exactly it. Your amygdala is trained to react instantaneously. If it didn't, the snake would get you, right? You don't want that. None of us want that. Now that's very useful, well, if you see a real snake, which not many of us see these days. If a tiger's chasing you. It's useful in the modern world if somebody cuts you off in traffic and your amygdala can immediately have your body take action. How does it teach your body to take action? It releases a bunch of chemicals that we know as our stress chemicals, and those are adrenaline and cortisol, among others, that prepares your body to run or fight, if fight is the appropriate, if it's a tiger and you need to fight it off because you can't run away from it. So that's all good, except that in modern life, our amygdala and our limbic system gets triggered by a lot of things that are not actually life-threatening, but do feel really threatening to us. And it has the same reaction as if you saw the snake or saw the tiger. And it releases the same chemicals. And here's another thing that's important to remember. Because it acts so quickly to save your life, it acts before your prefrontal cortex can say, that's not a snake, it's just a piece of garden hose, you're safe. Amygdala's already like, no, I'm out of here. Like you said, I'm running, Oh, the prefrontal cortex is like, wait, come back, no, it's not a snake. So the amygdala not only, we're going to call this the amygdala and that the prefrontal cortex because I can't draw a brain. And this is your brain on fear or stress. The amygdala not only reacts more quickly, it has more connections to communicate with your prefrontal cortex than your prefrontal cortex has to communicate back to the amygdala. So it's like the amygdala has a bullhorn and is shouting, danger, danger, and the prefrontal cortex is trying to say, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So how are we going to interrupt that? How are we going to be able to get back to our thinking, planning, impulse inhibition part of our brain? By using tapping. There you go, by using tapping. There are many ways you can do it. Deep breathing, yoga, meditation, exercise. The reason tapping is one of the ways that helps you do that is because it helps, first of all, we naturally do percussive motions when we're trying to relax, and we'll talk about that. But it also helps to discharge those chemicals that are telling us to run or fight. When those chemicals are stuck in our body, that's when we begin to get some of the health problems that are associated with stress. Those chemicals are triggered over and over by a difficult relationship or by a difficult interaction with someone you work with or your boss, by something you don't like, by a memory. They can be triggered by a memory and suddenly you're flushed with adrenaline and cortisol. It needs to be released. Tapping helps your body to release it. When your dog gets excited about something, let's say he sees another dog, but you won't let him run after the other dog goes on by, and your dog goes and shakes, right? That's what your dog's doing. They're releasing the cortisol and the adrenaline that had built up. If we all would shake like that on a regular basis, we'd probably be healthier. Tapping is an easier way to do it, right? So emotions are an important part of this process because they help us decide what's good or bad, and sometimes making that decision that this is bad causes that stress hormone reaction. And so let's use tapping now for an emotional issue so that you can sort of see how that would work. So I want you to think about something that has happened in the recent past for you. It doesn't have to be work related, it could be personal, but some event that bothered you. Might have upset you, might have scared you, might have made you angry, just bothered you. And let's just keep it in that middle range, so not something that would put you on a 10 on the chart for being bothered. And you can give it a word that would sort of encapsulate how it bothered you, like angry, or frustrated, or scared, or just anxious. Give it a word and then give it a rating like we did with the pain. So now you're just rating an emotional feeling that you've had recently. Between 0, which is it didn't bother me at all, and 10, which is it bothered me a lot. And notice if you feel it in your body as you think about it too. Maybe you feel something in your body at the same time because it's all connected, right? And now we're going to tap on that. And if you'll tune into what you're thinking about, I'll just use those generic phrases again like we did with the pain. So let's go. We know how to do this now. All right. So even though I had this situation and it bothered me, I completely accept myself. That's just how I felt. Even though I had this situation and it bothered me, and I can still feel it. I accept myself. That's just how I felt. And let's tap the eyebrows. This situation. This situation. This situation. This situation that bothered me. This situation. This situation. This situation. This situation. And let's give it one more time for good measure. This situation. And tune into it. This situation. This situation. This bothered me. This bothered me. This bothered me. This situation. This bothered me. Okay, awesome. All right, stop. Take a breath. Take a minute. Now tune into that situation again. Just notice, how has it changed in your mind or body, in the way you remember it? And has that number you gave it gone down? So, yeah? Who has noticed that it has changed? No? A few people? Okay, great. And does anybody want to share in what way it might have changed? You don't have to share the situation, but just maybe what way it might have changed for you from doing the tapping. Yes, ma'am.
The number went down, and it
Excellent.
helped me to more accept the situation, so I don't feel that it was not okay.
That it was not okay.
I
Awesome.
accept it, and I'm good with it.
Great. So Vivian says that her number went down, that she had given it, and it helped her to accept the situation so that it felt more okay. She didn't feel so not okay with it.